Howdy, howdy. What's going on, everyone? So, as always, let me know if there are audio problems, or we'll see if I can actually start a stream with everything working. But, yeah, welcome to Rokoko Office Hours. I'm Sam Lazarus, the creative director for Rokoko. And during these live streams, we kind of just, chat. You can come and ask questions. If you got any things you're wondering about Rokoko or workflows, kind of go off into whatever tangents we want. And then also in the background, I will usually kind of work on a background project. I don't really have much planned for today, though, because Fofamit, what's up? Good to see ya. Hey, Kindred. Hey, Binary. Hey, everyone. Yeah, but today, I just wanted to kind of be around, Sergey, in case anyone had any questions about the contest that's happening right now. For those of you who don't know, we're running, we run these contests every month made with Rokoko. Bagheera, how you doing? And you can find information about them on the Discord or on Instagram. But this month, because we just announced the Smartsuit Pro II, we are giving away a Smartsuit Pro II, smart gloves, and $500 in motion library credits for third prize. So big prizes. We've seen some awesome submissions so far. We have a few more days. You have until December 6th. I believe it's midnight. So 4 more days. 3 days and change. 3 days and 13 hours, maybe. Is that right? Maybe it's 4 days and 13 hours. No, I think it's 3 days and 13 hours. But yeah, there's still time to submit, and it's the requirements are not, I don't think, too bad. The theme is new beginnings. You have to use Rokoko mocap in it. But yeah, a lot of awesome prizes on the line, and hopefully, we've seen some awesome submissions already. But if you're thinking about it, I'd go for it, because it's there's some money on the table. And then Knack montages, NAQ Knack. Is the 15th a Tuesday or a Thursday? Because there will be this stream on a Thursday. We are, binary spiders. That's the way I do it too. You got to do it at the end. That's how you get your heart rate up. That's how I did it for Clint's contest. I remember. The best place to see the submissions right now, Binary Spiders, which is an awesome name, by the way. It's 3. Okay. Sorry. David Lindburn's correcting me in the chat. It's actually 3 p.m. CEST, December 6th is the deadline. You can find out, all the information on the Discord. And yeah, the Discord is actually also the best place to see the works in progress. I don't think that there's a way to see all the submissions yet, other than just searching for Made with Rokoko on Instagram, because one of the requirements of the contest is just that you post it somewhere with the hashtag Made with Rokoko. So that's one way to check it out. But yeah, so we do have, Clinton Jones and Peter France. CG Gods will be judging. So we're gonna, we won't be doing that live, but we will be, having a judging session live, and then I'm gonna edit that into a video that we'll put out, which will be alongside the announcement of who won. So, yeah. So I don't have a ton planned for this stream. Left to my own devices, we'll probably be drifting into Cinema 4D. Maybe Maya. I thought that it could be fun to maybe try to get into some Marvelous Designer, and I could go through, we could try to get, I have a new piece of clothing that I found recently that is simple to use. So I thought maybe we could put that on our character and kind of make a submission, or kind of go through the process of making a submission for the Made with Rokoko contest. We have the, Fofamit. Punisher in the house. He's gonna be around for the judging. It's gonna be fun. He's the judging, master at this point. What I would do, Bagheera, is if you can send just a in like an unlit, set the viewport to unlit and send a screenshot of the entire screen, so we can see the the Unreal, and then it's also unlit. It's not with the proper lighting, so you can't just like Photoshop in a frame into the viewport or whatever. But yeah, that's how I would do it, Bagheera. Faux Famine, I haven't tried the new Marvelous Designer update. I'm always scared to do updates with them because I don't know, it's expensive. Sometimes I don't want to mess with my licensing, but that's great. I'm such a Marvelous Designer newbie that, I didn't pick up on that. But would it be okay to post the entry on LinkedIn instead of Instagram? I believe so, but I would go and check the Discord to be sure, because that's really the single source of truth for the contest. So let me go find. I'm gonna go. Let me just grab a link to the Discord, because sometimes it's difficult to find the links to to actually find the Discord to join it. I don't know why. Maybe that's just me. Let me go grab it. Throw it in the chat. No, it doesn't have to be ESD. It doesn't have to be on the whole animation. It has to be one shot. It has to be one frame grab or one frame. Usually the way that we did it was based off of Clint's, the way that he does it, which is David's got the answer. Shaded wireframe or just a wireframe. Unlit, I think, would also work. Anything that is showing that basically you are in the project, shaded wireframe is, I'm sure, best. But yeah, that's what Clint's contest do, is that you basically have to submit a frame that is a clay render or something that essentially just makes sure that you have access to the project and you didn't just grab the project file and submit it, or grab the finished product and submit it. So yeah, keep asking these questions. And hello to David Lindbergh as well, who is our Discord moderator and is a badass. He is all over the Discord if you have questions. It looks like we got a little naked something. I am going to hide ya. Hidden. Knack montages. I don't know how many people have submitted yet. I'm not sure. But I've seen a bunch of the submissions, at least that have been going around the internal Slack and things. People are doing some really creative, interesting things. Yeah, don't click on those. And message deleted. I've never had to actually mod a chat before. That is the same David as Dave Rokoko. It is. David Lindbergh, who is knows a lot about a lot of different things. Yeah. Man, how do those chatbots find you? Okay, so, I'm going to go just kind of play around. We're going to get into Marvelous Designer. Faux Famit in the chat, amazing VTuber. We actually just also released the first bit of our VTubing course, which is really designed for beginners in the VTubing world. I tried to make it a course that you could walk into having never known about VTubing, and you wouldn't be super confused about it. So it's very general, but we used I've been on Faux Famit's YouTube for forever. She's amazing, has a ton of VTubing tutorials especially about VC Face. I think Faux Famit, I think you just upgraded your whole system to Unreal, I feel like. So she's getting into Unreal now. Really good place to find tutorials if you're into VTubing or kind of live streaming in general. And maybe she will give us pointers for Marvelous Designer. David is everywhere. He is the Lord and Savior. But yeah, we do have this VTubing course that we just released as well, so you can go check that out if you're curious. Today we just dropped the episode where we go through how to create avatars, and tomorrow the 2 episodes that are dropping are the V-Roid, and I never know if it's VR-oid or V-Roid. I think it's V-Roid. Fofamit, maybe you can tell me. I know, right, Sapphire? 100% Unreal now, Fofamit. That's awesome. Yeah, it looks really good. I love the super wide angle you use for your Unreal camera. I feel like it's like an 8mm lens or something. It looks really cool. I'm loving the new setup. Looks awesome. But yeah, the episodes that drop tomorrow are the actual workflows where we use Rokoko hardware to drive. We set up a Vroid avatar, and then we also go through the metahuman workflow, which are things that we've had, we've put out tutorials for in the past, but never in kind of the context of VTubing and never in like one series. So again, hopefully it just kind of, brings together some of the information, because it's quite a journey to find out about VTubing if, you don't know if English is your only language, for example. Second one, all one word. Okay, so it's Vroid. It's or is it Vroid? Interesting. 12 millimeter Fofamit. Yeah, it is. I love the lens distortion. I mean, man, I would crank this, but then I'd be too small. New beings. Hey, okay. Hey, thanks, man. It's been difficult to compete because my left foot keeps drifting and rotating inside studio, which of course does it to the character inside. Vroid. Okay, so it's Vroid. Yeah, Vroid. Okay, I was right. Thank you, Fofamit. I realized going through that course that I never said some of those things out loud, and Vroid was one, and there was a couple other things that I was like, oh my god, I have no idea if I'm just pronouncing like this completely wrong, because I've never actually said it out loud to another human being. If your foot is drifting, that is obviously not good and intended. A couple things I would try to do. One, try to make sure, I would test it in another area. It's possible that you're getting bad magnetic interference wherever you are, and if you're sometimes there's odd things happening in the floor that can cause that. Number 2 is, make sure that you have a good Wi-Fi connection and that you're using a router that's in the same room. That doesn't sound like it would be a Wi-Fi issue. It sounds like it's a magnetic drift issue, which is either you have a lot of magnetism in the area that you're working in, which you can test by just going to a different room or something. You can also use the app magnometers. You can find these magnometers, magnometers. I don't know how they're pronounced, but basically magnet, detectors on your phone. So you can kind of use them to see if it's really bad in your area. They're a little bit unreliable, and they don't. So, the best way to test is to actually go to another room or something. And then, the other thing is, I don't know if you are, that will sometimes happen if you're sitting. If you're sitting for long periods of time, the feet will essentially start drifting because, the software doesn't understand that you're putting your weight on your feet. And the way Rokoko Studio works is that it's all calculated by foot contact with the floor. So if the studio can't tell that you have your weight on your feet, which will happen when you're sitting, your feet might start drifting away. You can do some things to fix that, which is after you record, you turn on the IK filter and just make sure your keyframes are solid, and so that will lock your feet onto the floor. But yeah, couple things you can do. But and then so test it in a new environment, new beings, and make sure it's not magnetic interference in the floor. And then if you're sitting down, you can turn on, after you do your recordings, turn on the foot IK filter, which is So let's do it right here. I think there's a little bit of drift here in this using computer. So this is in treadmill mode. But if you were, I don't know if you're sitting, but if you were, you could put this into locomotion and then foot IK, and this should keep your feet locked into position. Let's see if it does it. So that can help sometimes. And if you're not sitting, it's possible that you have a faulty sensor or something, in which case I would reach out to customer success at Rokoko.com, and it's possible we can send out a repair kit to you, because that can happen eventually. That was one of the things that we did with the Smartsuit Pro II, is we made the sensors a little bit more durable, so hopefully that won't be an issue anymore. But yeah, hopefully that is a couple of things you can try. It's certainly not, that shouldn't be happening, and if it turns out it's a faulty sensor, definitely, reach out to customer success at Rokoko.com, and we should be able to sort you out with a repair kit. New beings. Hopefully that answers your question. Magnetic interference, good Wi-Fi connection. If you're sitting, use foot IK, and also be aware that will happen with sitting. It's kind of what happens with inertial tech sometimes. And then if all else fails, reach out to customer success at Rokoko.com. See if we can get a repair kit out to you. Papo from Chile. Good to see you, Papo. I don't know if you prefer Papo or Juan. we do talk about you sometimes because you're awesome. But yeah, question related to Realusion. I think you can't import your face blend shapes from Rokoko into iClone 7. Do you think the next iClone 8 can we make that? I've never tried doing facial retargeting in iClone, so I'm not sure. The closest that usually what I do with iClone is that, they have the iClone Live Face app. So whenever I'm doing things in iClone, I usually do them live and then record them in iClone. But yeah, so maybe I don't know. I don't know if basically I don't know how retargeting works in iClone, so I'm not positive. I'm sorry, Papo. I don't have a better answer. Pixel Fire, what's going on? Another amazing VTuber. Works in just did a studio refresh. It's really cool. You want to use it? Yeah, New Beings. I feel like maybe did you reach out to customer success already? New Beings. Because I feel like I just saw something like that, a customer having an issue like that. Yeah, I would reach out to customer success at Rokoko.com, New Beings, and they'll either be able to help you out or they'll be able to get you a new sensor. Because obviously for VTubing, yeah, you're not going to want that drift. But are you sitting down? So, I mean, the right arm shooting backwards, obviously that's not right. If you're sitting down, the foot drift thing, that's basically the way you fix that is kind of in Unreal or in Unreal or in Unity. You have to disable the feet, and you just pose the bottom half of the body into a static pose. And that's kind of how we handle it. VTubers colliding in the chat. Pixel Fire, Faux Vomit. Great to see you guys. NAQ, NAC, does the new Rokoko suit handle better the magnetic interference? It does handle magnetic interference better. But yeah, we did Binary Spiders. We did see that. But also there will be, part of that is some of the new sensors that we used in the suit. But part of it is going to be some of the changes that are rolling out in the new version of Rokoko Studio, which is going to be launching very early in the new year, I'll say, without giving a date because I don't want to break any sort of promise. But some of the things we're doing on the software side are going to significantly reduce the amount of drift. So it will combat some of those magnetic interference issues. And that will be happening, hopefully, and that should be happening for your Smartsuit Pro 1s too. Like, we should see some improvement in the performance of the 1 as well when you move over to the new studio. When the new studio launches, it's going to be very bare bones. It's kind of going to do exactly what the studio does right now, Rokoko Studio does right now, but we'll be rolling out updates in that new platform that will improve kind of Smartsuit performance across the board, which is cool. Yeah, it might be the sensor issue, in which case we do send out repair kits. That is totally a thing. So customer success at Rokoko.com, and also, the Discord, if you ever have a question and it's not a stream, the Discord is a great place as well. An issue with the right thumb that will move up out of alignment out of a few seconds of movement. Do you mean that it will actually physically move in the glove, or do you mean that the glove will just start, the thumb joint will just start drifting? Because that shouldn't be a thing, because the suit, the glove sensors, unlike the suit, the glove sensors are actually completely impervious to magnetic interference. So I'm assuming what you're saying is that, where are the gloves? Where are my gloves? Where are they? Where did I put them? Oh, they're out of reach. They're out of reach. But yeah, the motion shows on the screen and recording. So you're getting drift in the thumb. Interesting. I have never heard of that, because that shouldn't be happening. I hate to give this as kind of a catch-all, but you could also reach out to customer success. I've never heard of a glove issue happening. I kept the sensor in the thumb where it needs to be. Yeah, but the thumb will pop up. God, I don't know. Possibly a faulty sensor in your glove. In which case, I've never actually heard of us having to send out a repair kit for the glove. I don't know what we would do. Maybe we'll replace them, but reach out to them, because, you can't have purchased your gloves too long ago, and I'm sure that maybe it's a wire connection. That's really weird. Usually what will happen sometimes is that the sensor will drift within the glove, which a very janky solution I've seen too is to kind of just, get a small rubber band and keep it clamped up on your thumb. Yes. So yeah, I would try to talk to them. I'm happy we got some questions. This is great, because I go into Cinema 4D a lot, so it's good to just answer some questions. Papo, 200 FPS streaming. So the benefits of it are slow-mo, but also just it kind of impacts everything across the board for the suit. Just when there's more data to work with, basically, again, the suit is doing, there's a lot of what's happening with Rokoko mocap is happening in studio, right? Because all you're getting from the suit is rotational data. It's just accelerometer. So it's not tracking through space or anything. So everything is calculated, by studio, from the ground up, kind of. So the more data that we have, that studio has to work with, that's going to help with some of the drift issues. It's going to help with be able to keep up with like rolling and stuff like that. So the 200 FPS streaming kind of just makes everything better, is how it's been explained to me. So it should be improving the some of that drift issues, because the studio has more data to work with. And then also it's just better at like keeping up with fast-paced movements. If you're, high impact movements was another thing that we had gotten complaints about, where people were like hitting bags, or, they were jumping off of ledges and hitting the floor, and then there would be, you would get foot penetration through the ground and stuff, which like you could fix with some of the filters, but also, it just makes everything better. So that's how the 200 FPS improvement has kind of been explained to me, is that it will touch every aspect of making the suit better. Yeah, Pixel Fire, that's a great question. I think it was an issue that we didn't realize would be a thing. I'm not sure. Would be a thing with the Smartsuit, the smart gloves, the original version. Now there's actually a new textile for the smart gloves, so that should happen less. I don't know why they're movable, but I think initially, at least for the first version, it was not something that we thought would be an issue, because I just don't think that they had been tested in the field, as rigorously as our customers did. Okay, new beings. Yes. Pose the legs sitting. I will need to somehow disable the legs. Yes. So, yeah, and I'm not super familiar with iClone. So I haven't actually done this in iClone. I've done it in Unreal and Unity. But yeah, essentially what you'll do is just usually the way that these things work, and I'm not sure if this is how it works in iClone, but you will have a bone list that will define the data coming from Rokoko Studio to your skeleton, and if you leave the leg information blank, at least in Unreal, you won't get that data over to your character, and then you just pose the legs into a sit, and you just kind of crop the character up. I mean, the thing is, and we mentioned this in the sorry, I'm just trying to read all these. Sinuous, that's awesome. We mentioned this in the VTubing course that we just put out, essentially, and this was something that I had talked to Pixelfire, and which he put me over the edge on this recommendation, which was that you get the suit is really at its best when you're standing. When the suit is able to tell, and Rokoko Studio is able to tell where your feet are and that they're on the floor and that you have your weight on them. And so really the best thing that you can do is just stand during your streams, which isn't the people you want to sit, and I understand that, obviously, and we do have that sitting workflow, which is at least for Unreal, which we've put out before. The other thing is, like, chairs, like this one, for example, is full of metal. So when I sit in this chair, I see magnetic drift much faster than I would if I was just standing, where I'm really not going to be seeing it for like 30 minutes or something. And then I'll do a calibration every 30 minutes or every, 40 minutes or something. But if you're sitting in a magnetic chair or a metal chair, then that can kind of mess with the sensors. And so that's why sitting is just, ends up being tough. Yeah, standing is great. It makes you stand out. I mean, the other thing is, and again, you should be able to sit. Like, I totally understand that. Like, sitting should be a thing. And it is a thing. You can do it. It just comes with a couple more complications, I think. But yeah, faux fam it, with the dad joke there. I mean, but also it's kind of true, because if you have a Bagheera, you beat me to it. But if you have a full body mocap, so you kind of, I mean, you should be able to sit, but also, like, standing is part of the advantage, like being able to move around and kind of, give your character a little bit more life. That's kind of the assumption, I think, at least on my end, is that, if you, that's one of the advantages, I'll say, of having a full mocap suit, right? Is that you can stand and you can move around. But that being said, of course, you should be able to sit. VTubers, you got to sit to play your games and everything too. So hopefully, Rokoko, the new version of Rokoko Studio should help with the sitting. And, eventually what has been suggested to us, and we definitely have heard the feedback, is basically to have set postures or set positions which you can force your character into, and then only control the upper half of your character and port that out. The nice thing about you can using a wooden chair or something with less metal can help Sinuous. But you're still going to get basically the issues of it not knowing that your feet are on the ground. So you just need to go into, if you're in Unreal or Unity, you got to go and do some magic in there to disable the data that's coming in from Rokoko Studio for the feet. For the feet and legs. The cool thing about Rokoko, the new version of Rokoko Studio, is going to be that it's very ambitious, and it's a lot more exposed. Like, your data is a lot more exposed. If right now, kind of for better or worse, it will also hopefully still be idiot proof, which I always call our products is, we tried to make them as idiot proof as possible, and that's like a comment about myself. I'm an idiot. I think we're all idiots when it comes to CG. Like, the learning process in CG never stops, but it's always nice when things are simple. But you can see here, this is very simple. This is the current Rokoko Studio. The new Rokoko Studio, has a lot of stuff like you can see the skeleton, you can attach props to bones, you can make, the idea is eventually you'll be able to do your retargeting within Rokoko Studio. You'll be able to it's kind of moving a little bit more towards a more practical, almost 3D program, where you'll be able to rotate and translate things in space and import FBXs and stuff. When it launches, it's kind of going to be just the functionality we're used to, but we're going to be adding all these new things in over the course of next year. So that's going to be kind of exciting. Sam, I know what you do can really help. I'm using icon because it's so difficult to see. Yeah. Yes, totally. And I think in 2 days, New Beings, there is we have a tutorial coming out for Character Creator 3 for VTubing. Actually, one of the things I love most about Character Creator 3 is that it is, I haven't seen that in the Discord. I'm not in there as often as I should be. Yes, I think good generalists are idiots, but sure, I'll take it, ESD. One of the things I love most about Character Creator 3, and I know Character Creator 3 a little bit more than iClone. iClone, I haven't messed around in as much as I should, especially given that a lot of our customers are iClone users. It's just a big wide world of CG programs out there, and I still haven't gotten around to it. But Character Creator 3, I do love their T-pose is really good for Rokoko mocap. You got to fix the shoulders a little bit sometimes, but like especially their hand pose is proper. And what I do essentially is that if we just had this character, right, and I wanted to export a T-pose out to Unreal, you go to the motion pose tab, set HIK T-pose, boom, and then you just export it like this. Set it to Unreal, and then current pose. Boom. And also, if you're going to Unreal, you want to make sure to bake Diffuse and Specular maps. We go over this, again, in 2 days, I think it is, our tutorial for VTubing will come out for Character Creator 3, where we're working in Unreal, and they have an auto setup plugin for Unreal now that makes it a little bit easier to get everything over and get all the textures come in correctly, which is kind of nice. So yeah, I just export it like this. So I hit that HIK T-pose, I leave it in this T-pose, and then I hit export current pose, do whatever, delete your hidden faces, and there you go. And then you can bring that into Unreal, and it's in a T-pose. And we also have, with the VTubing series, there's this folder that we're giving out, Rokoko Assets folder for Unreal, where it has a ton of bone lists in it. So it has your Character Creator 3 bone lists, and you can, it just makes it easier to get everything up and running. A pose is the bind pose, and changing the arm positions doesn't matter. Okay, so yeah, so I guess... So excuse me, New Beings. I'm thinking about this from a live perspective. So live, basically that works. I haven't tried to do retargeting, which I assume is what you're talking about in Unreal, but there is a great plugin in Blender that I always call out now. I got my Daz, got everything open here. Close Daz Studio. Let's jump into Blender. Let's do this. Let's export this Character Creator 3 guy. And New Beings, I know you probably don't want to involve another program, but, well, yeah, we'll do it in both Unreal and in Blender. You know, essentially when you're in Unreal, what you need to do is go into the retargeting manager and yeah, binary. And you need to repose the asset into a T-pose. You know, again, the thing that's a bit of a bummer is that we're gonna lose the hands. But I thought that there was, okay, so we got our, let's give our character. Actually, I don't want to add any more confusion. We're just gonna use this character as is. Okay. I'm gonna go and set HIK T-pose. Okay, load T-pose. Okay, but this. Okay, nope. Okay, so let's go to export, clothed character, current pose, first frame in bind pose. So I wonder if that means it's gonna put that into an A pose, because the bind pose is probably the rest pose. Auto rig. Let's see if there's a embed T pose for Unity. Let's try that. See what happens. So I'm actually going to do a Blender. So I selected, I'm going to bring this into Blender. So I selected that just to make sure everything else is right. Then I'm going to embed motion, T-pose for Unity. I've never done this before, but we'll see what happens. Let's export it. Let's send it out to our, what is it, CC3 test. I think it will still work for the auto setup. You just need to, for the auto setup, the most important thing is checking that bake, diffuse, and specular map. Because that is where you run into issues with the auto setup or auto importer or whatever it is in Unreal. Okay, where am I going here? I'm going to, okay, we got to go all the way through. Excuse the construction that's happening outside my window. It will never end. I don't know how bad. I'm curious, how loud is that chainsaw? And I'm just importing this CC3 Plus character. Always click automatic bone orientation. We'll see how it comes in. If it's in an A pose, it is in an A pose. Okay. So this is obviously the bind pose. And the way that you can always tell, at least in Blender, what the rest pose is if you go into edit mode, the pose that it moves to will be the rest pose. So like, let's say we wanted to, object mode, go into pose mode. Oh, that's the wrong bone. And like, oh, we're going to put it into a T-pose. Like, oh, I can export this now. No, right? We go back to object mode. It all looks fine. But if we go to edit mode, oh, that's our actual real pose. But what's a great app or plugin, at least in Blender, for assigning rest poses or, reassigning rest poses is the cats plugin, which I love, which is something that has always been an issue. So yeah, if you can use Blender, I do like to prep the characters by changing their rest position to a T-pose. So like this character, for instance, so this is Cats plugin here, which is a free plugin, CATS. If you type in Cats VR chat, it'll come up in Google. But it's free, it's easy to install. But it's got all, you can export models using it. And most importantly, you can set, you can apply rest poses really easily, even to models with multiple meshes, which is a mess. But what I would do is I would bring this model into here. I would go to start pose mode. I would actually, I'm just going to lower the collarbones because that's always kind of a good thing. And then put our character into a T-pose. And now if I go apply as rest pose, it will apply this as the actual rest pose, which in Blender, I mean, maybe, I mean, I am, again, I'll call myself an idiot all day, because, but I've always had a problem with getting characters to stick to a rest pose that I want them to be in. It seems to be really difficult to do in whatever program you're in. But this plugin makes it really easy because then you can just hit apply as rest pose. And now, you know, we go to edit mode. Oh, it's not changing. This is it. This is the baked rest pose. If I was to bring this into Unreal, it's going to be in the T pose, which is really cool. And let's see if I can crash. Is it going to crash when I turn on textures? No. You can go to export model, and it will help you export the model. Because also exporting FBXs from, exporting FBXs from Blender is always a bit of a pain in the butt. So this cats plugin is just great all over the place. Okay, bunch of questions. Okay. Connect. Okay. Sorry, I'm catching up. Because CC3. Yeah, so we can go into Unreal and try this with the CC3 character in a second too. Reallusion said the auto plugin requires a pose in Unreal to work properly. Huh. I don't get that. We can use the auto plugin thing in a second. But yeah, normally the way that, and again, we have a video coming out in 2 days about using the auto plugin, but it works fine for me. I put it in that HIKT pose and I export it as current pose, and then it's only for the retargeting that I run into the rest pose issue. Andre Gamma, I'm having issues with electromagnetic fields. I mean, the only solution is really to just try to find a place where you don't have you don't have a big magnetic interference. I do rarely, though. If you haven't tried, sometimes magnetic interference can be masking, or excuse me, sometimes bad Wi-Fi signal can be masking itself as magnetic interference. So before you, one thing to try is or if you don't already have a dedicated router, an offline dedicated router that's like in the same room where you're doing the mocap, sometimes that can look like magnetic interference because it's just bad Wi-Fi signal. So I would try having a router and then, try to test the suit in other locations just to verify that it is magnetic interference, because magnetic interference is one of those things that we really can't change, right? There are some locations where it's just too magnetic. The magnetic interference is too bad. Typically for me, really the only place that I see this reliably is on concert venue stages, which is not good sometimes for people doing live shows and things. But a lot of concert venues, the stages will have tons of electronics in the stage, and that can really mess up the suit, and there's like no fixing that. That's the way it is, because if the magnetic interference is bad, that location is basically bunk because it's an inertial sensor. It is susceptible to magnetic interference, and that's kind of the way it is. But there are other things that sometimes seem like magnetic interference, for example, bad Wi-Fi signal, that are fixable. So you just want to make sure that it really is magnetic interference and it's not a problem with like a faulty sensor in the suit or something like that, which again we've kind of been talking about earlier. And if there is a faulty sensor in the suit, we can send out a repair kit and something like that. Also, if you can try using a router on a 5G network. As long as my router is in the same room as me, and I'm so far from an engineer or scientist who knows what they're talking about, but from what I understand, 5G is a stronger band but it's more susceptible to interference from walls and things. Don't know if that's true. David, you can help me out. I don't know if David knows either. But anyway, when I'm using 5G on my router, the 5G band, I have a dual band router, which aren't crazy expensive. They are another expense, but I think it is worth it because it means that you can take your router wherever you want and be mobile. I get really good results and really speedy results. So I'd try that. But really, I would try to use the suit in another location just to make sure that it's magnetic interference, because magnetic interference is something that we can't solve. Some of the other issues we can help out with, faulty sensor, repair kit, bad Wi-Fi. You can try cleaning up your, I when I wear these headphones with my headband, it completely jacks up my head. I cannot wear these. So it could be things like that maybe you could remove from the environment that can make it perform better. But you just want to make sure that it is magnetic interference, because if it isn't, it can be fixed usually. If it is, it can't be fixed, and then you've just got a problem with that location. Hopefully that helps. Cats is, I think Cats is pretty well known. I didn't know about it for the longest time, but it is amazing. It's so good. You can also use it to import VRM models and stuff, and GLB models, and Papa, for character creator FBX, is it better to import or use the plugin CC3? I've never used the CC3 plugin for Blender. I didn't even know that they had one. Unless you're talking about Unreal. If you're talking about Unreal, I think it's definitely better to use the auto importer, because I always have issues with my textures coming in. So it's most useful for the textures. For Blender, I don't really have issues with, you got to go and fix some of the eyelashes and stuff. But in general, it's a little bit easier to fix. What do you do from the... So one thing I would do, new beings, is... there's a couple things you can do. One is that when I'm doing my straight poses, I really hug the side of my body. I don't just let my arms rest. I squeeze them into the side of my legs. I do my straight pose and I kind of squeeze my arms as tight as I can against the side of my body, and that will help. Because again, it's all relative, right? So the way that you do your straight pose is, if you were to do your straight pose like this in a T pose, then your arms for your avatar would be always crossed, right? Because it's assuming that your straight pose is in that up and down pose, and then it's doing everything relative to that. So, one thing you can do is just make sure that your arms are as tight against your body as possible. And then the other thing that you can do is when you're doing your retargeting, I do generally, sometimes I'll jack this, instead of this, I will do my T-pose like that. And that just ensures, excuse me, it's not very symmetrical, but, that will help keep the, okay, David, I was right. It's faster but shorter range. Okay, and this also is a bit of an answer to that 200 FPS and what it's doing in the new suit. Drift is from data uncertainty, so less data uncertainty when you have more frames of data. Sinuous, there isn't a lot of support for 3ds Max. Yes. It's something that we've heard before. I think the honest truth is that we have a lot fewer 3ds Max users, and in general, maybe that's not true. I'm sorry, 3ds Max community. I do love 3ds Max. I use it for a couple models that I have and stuff, but I think that I don't know if we're going to support the cat rig anytime soon, but certainly we do need to add some tutorials just on how to handle mocap data going into 3ds Max. When I use 3ds Max, my workflow, and I haven't done it for a couple months, but what I remember having to do is that I would import the .bvh, then I would have to export it as a .biped from Max, and then I could re-import that .biped to my cat rig in Max. So very hacky, and we can definitely do better. It's been on the docket for a while. It's just tough because I think the demand is relatively low. One of the co-founders for Rokoko is a massive 3ds Max fan, and he has been trying to get us to give more support forever. So we are behind on that. So, we'll get there eventually, but we do need to just give some more support on the YouTube and just to help out. Hopefully, maybe there might be some people who can help you out in the Discord, but again, I think it's just we don't have a lot of Max users, in this kind of demographic. But maybe that's not true. So excuse me if the 3ds Max people come out of the woodwork. Cool. Yeah. Okay, well, let's go through that retargeting in Unreal, because that would be a good use of our time as well. So with this character, and let's actually, let's go through the auto import whole rigmarole. I'm going to just delete this character, delete this FBX, and we'll just start from scratch because I'm curious too, because I haven't done retargeting in a while of a CC3 character in Unreal. So just make it Unreal, current pose, bake diffuse and spec maps. Let's say, no, we don't want to embed I don't want to embed a pose. Embed T pose. See what happens. Texture preset, Unreal. CC3 test. Let's launch our Unreal. Also, in other news, the Unreal 4.27 CC3 test. The Unreal 4.27 plugin is now in the marketplace, which is pretty nice. There's actually a new workflow, so we're going to bust out a new tutorial for that next week. Slightly new workflow. The bone list asset has changed, but it's on the marketplace now, which makes it a lot easier to install that plugin, which is pretty cool. 4.27 kind of honestly gives me a little bad taste in my mouth. It's such an in-between. It's like, I don't know. Aren't we all thinking about 5? And it's like, okay, I'm going to take my 4.26 projects, make them go through all this effort and make 4.27 projects only to move to 5 in 2022. Yeah, it's just like, I'm wary of 4.27. I haven't played around in it a lot. But the plugin is there, and I'm sure they added a bunch of new features and everything. Just give us UE5. Come on. I mean, yeah, right? Okay, so to import the auto importer, we need to go find the... Yes, here it is. Okay, so here's my folder I'd actually downloaded for that tutorial, but we drop our auto importer into our project file here. And I'm just going to go and enable my Rokoko plugin just because it'll prompt a restart, which we need to do anyway. Restart. Yeah, I feel like... Oh, Project This House, I'm sorry to hear that. I believe that they do need to go back to Denmark. But I guess we can probably... I don't know how that works. Customer success at Rokoko.com. Madalena, shout out. Hey, this bot is back. Remove. How do I ban this person? Put user in timeout. In timeout. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Project This House. You haven't had a single successful capture with them. Huh. That's a bummer. Again, usually, I mean, just when we do run into problems, usually it's from the suit, not from the gloves. But I'm very sorry to hear that. And yeah, I think they do have to go back to Denmark. But maybe the Discord or customer success at Rokoko.com can help you out. I don't know how to do it. Hide from channel. Fofam it. Yeah, the streamers know how to do this. Hide user on this channel. Okay, user's message will be hidden. Cool. Okay. So now let's go to auto importer, character creator. It's all set up. So I believe all we need to do is go and drag in our, we drag in our FBX. We're going to select HQ shader. So this is popping up because we have that auto importer. Oh, Project This House. I'm so sorry. That's obviously that's not right. Reach out to customer success at Rokoko.com. I mean, it sounds like you have faulty gloves, which we should replace. Reach out to them. They should help you out. That's crazy because the gloves are really reliable in my experience. The suit, sometimes you'll get issues and you got to work through those, but the gloves should be more solid. I'm really sorry to hear that, Project This House. That should not be happening, obviously. Ooh, quick options. Oh. Timeout, ban. What is trash? Oh, thank you, Fofam it. Okay, so, importing our FBX, whatever, import all. Yeah. Ugh, haywire gloves. I can't imagine something more frustrating. Ugh, sorry about that. Doesn't make it better. Saying sorry, but hopefully we can make it better. Customer success at Rokoko.com. They love me over there. No, they're really great. Okay, we're importing. And we're going to try to do some retargeting. So let's export the classic martial art kata, which is not a real martial art. This is me doing what I thought. I think I was trying to do something that I'd seen on an Instagram reel or something. Okay, so importing to Unreal. We're going to import an FBX with the body mesh. And I'm just going to import it to our actual project that we're working in. Export. Okay. Okay, so. Whoa, weird, man. Okay, interesting. So this is that first frame and bind pose, it must have been. So I'm going to do this again because I want to see if... I'm not going to embed motion. I'm going to do current pose. Because I want to see, because when I pull it in like this, I get it in a T pose. And so I'm just going to delete. Unreal loves it when you do this. Hard delete. With it in the scene. The Sam Jam. No, but if I ever do get a, if anyone ever wants to be in my crew, I think I'm not wearing a beanie right now, but I normally am wearing a beanie. And I think if I were to have a gang, like a street gang, or like when my big pop career gets off the ground, it's gonna be the Beanie Babies are gonna be my my crew. Somebody told me that the other day, which I really loved. Okay, let's bring in this CC3. Yo. Standard enable. Hold on. Okay, let's export this again. Export. Clothed character, Unreal. Current pose. Doot. Advanced. Embed a pose. Okay. Oh, but hold on. See what happens. Beanie Babies could be the theme. I think that would be good. Come on, brah. Delete. Okay. Cancel. Bake diffuse. CC3. It's not even CC3 test anymore. Now it's not even proper capitalization. It's just CC3. Uncapitalized. I feel like what I really need is to get some music in the background of this stream. When I tried that before, it kicked my stream. What? HQ shader? I don't know what's... Okay, whatever. We'll do the regular shader. Of course it does. I mean, come on. This is exciting to watch. Canna, good to see you. Seeing you on the Discord. The Sam Aquat. I mean, that is where it comes from. You know, the red beanie. I had a creative director who made us all wear them, and which was a great idea. And I still do it. And now I make people wear them when I have the chance. Who doesn't love a red beanie? Come on, it's the best. It's the signal of a interesting... I don't know if that's true. It's a signal of something. That somebody's watched too many Wes Anderson movies. But The Life Aquatic is based off of Jacques Cousteau, who did wear a red beanie. And he was an explorer, and we're all kind of explorers in CG. That's how I think about it. If you're an artist, you're kind of an explorer. So I think it does make sense. Everyone should get a red beanie. Okay, I don't... Whoa, look at this now. It's getting real interesting. What's going to happen when you compile? Well, this doesn't look right. Okay, well, really what I'm curious about here, though, was this. And we're just going to ignore that not looking right. Retarget manager not even showing up. But view pose. Yeah, so this is in a T-pose. I don't know. This is it. Because basically, this view pose in the retarget manager is how you tell what the rest pose of this model is. So this model is is in a T-pose. So this should work for retargeting. If we try to bring in our this should just work. Although we might have to define the skeleton. This looks like it's doing it automatically. But this guy oftentimes does not. Window. We need to go to skeleton. Retarget manager. Yeah. So humanoid. Oh god. Auto map. Oh, it's actually working. No, it's not working, but let's just try it. Save. And now you should just be able to... Oh, we need to go to the anim. Oh, I didn't import the animation. Hold on. Clear this, import animations, import all. Go to the skeleton, humanoid, auto map. This is all totally wrong, but we're just gonna leave it. I just want to see if this will remap. Retarget anim assets. Oh, you got to set the preview mesh. Apply to asset. Same thing for the CC3. Okay, that is applied. Retarget anim. Yeah, so now you should be able to see them in both images. Yeah, and so it does retarget. I mean, this again, the bone lists were not set right, so it's not going to. Oh man. I mean, that's kind of hypnotizing in a weird way. Aren't these streams helpful, everyone? No, but I mean, so it looks like, I don't know, new beings. It looks like you can retarget, so I don't know. Maybe does that help? Does this help? But that would be the process of retarget. I mean, if we were to go, and the reason this is happening like that is, because this is all wrong. What is this? The spine is set to left shoulder. How fast can I do this? Yeah, clavicle left is not neck. Pinky is not. Lower arm. I have this saved somewhere, but I'm not sure where it is right now. Neck. Left up leg, left foot. Right up leg, right foot. Okay, so if we were to... So, there you go. Now if we save this, and now we retarget. It's so slightly better, but... So you can see this this left arm, we got the bone list right on. But yeah, it should work. If you set those up correctly, it should work. And we do have a tutorial on this. It's probably a little bit out of date, but retargeting, Rokoko, Unreal. Nope, that's retarget. Yeah. So this video goes over retargeting. I don't know if this is not You had all this happen? Okay, well, new beings, that's probably because this bone list wasn't filled out correctly, or something like that, because it should retarget correctly. It's just because there's a mismatch in, this bone list in the retarget manager, I bet isn't filled out correctly either. Let's go through left hand. Okay, so this is all right, looking like lower arm. Yep, that's all right. Hand, neck, thigh. This is all right. Foot, show advanced. So I usually get rid of twist bones. I get rid of all these twist bones. IK, get rid of all these IK, all this stuff. We don't need any of this stuff. You just want the same bones that your skeleton has from Rokoko. So if we were to go in and fill this out correctly, it should retarget correctly. Look, these are all set to the twist bones. This is all the pinkies and stuff. The materials won't come over. Crypto, Ghetto Crypto, what up? Thank you for doing this. Happy that it's helping. That's awesome. Yep, we have the more episodes are coming this week. Yep, stream will be left up on the page, and we do it every Thursday if you want to come back for more. New beings, weird, man, or not, man. Materials won't come over. I have like. Let me delete everything but our Unreal hates me. No one's doing this stuff to them. To Unreal, deleting stuff that isn't supposed to be deleted. But if we have this where is this Fiena character? That is a so this is an export. So I don't know why it's doing this. Whoa, this is very odd. Standard shader. Because I have the option for the HQ shader. I think there's something wrong with this project now. So I would, if this was me, I would go in and basically start a whole new project, because every other time that I haven't been on a stream and I've imported using their auto importer, it just seems to work, and it brings over all the textures and everything works correctly. Oh, the auto requires the A pose or else it breaks. I haven't had that be the case. I don't know. Huh. Bizarre. I definitely have gotten a T pose in with the textures. But maybe you need to use the A pose, and then just, you would go in and you would, if we were to bring in this guy, not import the animations, but what you do, if it is in an A pose, that's fine. You just go and you have to go to your retargeting manager again. Go to skeleton. In the skeleton tree. And, you would just, let's check our bones here. You would go, and if it was in an A pose, if it was like this, right? Let's set it to an A pose. So, because that's what you need to do for a bunch of other things. Ooh. You probably already know this, but, you'd go set it, and then you have to go and modify pose, use current pose. And so now when you retarget, it will, this is the rest pose. So you can do that as well. If it isn't an A pose. Yeah. Mixamo bone rotations are a little bit weird. Yeah. I mean, aren't they all? Nice. Oh, you did get it to work. Oh, good. Good, new beings. It was just black like that. Weird. I don't know. I've definitely gotten it to... Now I'm doubting my whole workflow. I'm going to have to go back and make sure that it all works. Huh. Okay, cool. Well, that's good at least. That you followed that it worked. The retargeting worked. The rest of it's a character creator problem, not our problem. I mean, it is our problem, but cool. So yeah, we might kind of call it there. Just wanted to hop on and hang out and answer questions for an hour. We've been on for about an hour and change. If anyone has any other questions, we can get into it. But other than that, I think we're going to kind of leave it and, say good luck. Hopefully people who haven't submitted will submit. And, we've been seeing some awesome stuff, but want to see more for the contest. And also, yeah, I'll just throw the Discord invite into the chat again. AVT Pro, you are telling me. Yeah, the A pose, T pose war is the biggest headache in my life, I think. Right, Fofama, you could totally do that as well. Yeah, I mean, and I think actually it will already have the materials applied, so all you really need to do is import the textures and then assign them to the materials, which is at least one step less. But yeah, I'm gonna go investigate Character Creator 3 now and make sure that our tutorial, which is coming out in 2 days, is gonna be is still gonna be relevant and working with the current version of Character Creator 3. Which there is a new version, Character Creator 4, coming out very shortly. But we'll see what happens with that. Might break some things. Yes. As David said, please hit up the Discord. Just a great group of people as well. Good for Rokoko questions, but also good if you're looking for some fun memes and just hanging out and getting CG, sharing CG work or whatever. Collaborating, just a cool spot. So I think I'm going to call it there. And, as I said, we'll see you on the Discord. And good luck in the last few days of creating your submission for the Made for Rokoko contest. If you're submitting, new beings, top of my, yes, that should be a thing in the new version of Rokoko Studio. Thank God. Yeah, you're gonna that's I'm beating that drum. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Again, it might not come out with the launch because the launch is we're just trying to get it out and get it working in its base form. But that is going to be, exporting an A pose. It's coming. Oh, it's gonna be so good. I can't wait when we have that. Sepfi, that's awesome. Submitted. That's great. Okay, everyone. I'm gonna call it there. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back next week on the live stream, so come join us again, and we'll be announcing the winners for the contest on December 15th, so that should be really fun too. Okay, everyone, see ya Beanie Babies. Yeah, I don't know, we'll see if we use that. Okay, bye.